Guten Tag. Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Wie geht's? Sorry, I was just watching a German YouTuber, so I just want to talk German, even though I can't speak German. I'm Scott.
I'm John.
And we're married. This is the SweetTeaNoShade knitting podcast. This is not a German language instructional video.
It's Duolingo for German, except for knitters. Right?
What's knitting? Stricken? I think that's knitting in German.
Okay.
Stricken. And yarn is... I don't remember.
Yeah.
So it's been like 5 or 6 weeks. And we haven't since we podcasted.
We were going to try to do every 2 weeks for a while, and that lasted one episode.
I think we burned ourselves out or something.
No, we had the holidays.
No, I know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
It's a joke, John.
Is it?
Yeah, so... Yeah, we podcasted and we did good, and then the holidays came and we traveled and we were tired and stuff happened and nothing bad happened. All good stuff.
Right. But now it's...
Are you playing footsie with me?
Maybe. Now it's January and there's nothing to do but podcast and knit. So.
Correct. Because, well, actually we can't complain about the weather because it's
been surprisingly mild.
Surprisingly mild. Although it's supposed to get down to 8 this weekend. That's
It
8
is...
Fahrenheit. No,
yeah.
It's supposed to get -4.
Is that's our,
on Sunday.
Really? That's like our first negative.
Yeah.
Which is amazing for Minnesota.
Yeah.
Like it's the fourth.
No, we got there in November or December.
Did we?
Yeah.
Okay.
-8 Fahrenheit. Not. It's like -1 million Celsius. I don't know what it is. -20 or something. So we are going to be very organized and very precise, and
we are.
Everything's going to flow perfectly in
through
this
the magic of
podcast.
editing.
That's not true at all. First of all, I'm wearing a finished object, but we'll talk about that later. I just had to show off my finished object, but we'll come back to that. We're going to do comments now.
Okay.
All right, so these are comments from the previous video. We like to start our videos off by reviewing or talking about the comments from the previous video, because that's super fun.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we do this, is to talk to you guys. And what was my point gonna say? Oh,
we're doing the comments.
We put the I try to put the time in the bottom. I don't know if anybody actually does skip past the comments, but
can't Google Analytics tell us that?
Oh, you know, maybe it can. I don't know. YouTube Analytics. Yeah, I don't
Sure.
know. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna put it in there. I don't, you know, other YouTubers do it, so whatever. Okay, so the first group of comments are from people that are new viewers. I thought it'd be fun to give them a shout out. Oh my god.
Jeez, good printing there, baby. Do we have a magnifying glass?
Good thing that I still have 2018 vision.
Good, because that is...
Holy moly.
Someone got his font size a little small.
I normally copy and paste the comments landscape, and instead I did a portrait. And it's teeny tiny, but we'll get through it. No babies will die.
No, but I'm gonna have to rely on you because I cannot see that at all. It looks okay.
So the first one's from Bella Macias. Hello, my name is Bella, and I'm from Bellflower, California. She says, "Love to see men knitting. That's awesome to me." I thought that was very cool. So thank you. Welcome to watching the podcast. The next one was from Kat Mont. She's from Nova Scotia, which I've never been to, but my dad says is amazing. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. That's part of the Maritimes, isn't it? The Maritime Provinces? Nova Scotia?
Sure. I don't know what the Maritime Provinces are. I know it's up above Newfoundland, I think.
You are such an American. You are such an American pig.
I read the shipping news, okay?
What's the shipping news about? Why has that got to do with this? Like about Canada?
It's set in Newfoundland. Or Nova Scotia. I can't remember.
Fail.
I know.
Okay, the next one is from Frank Vasquez Negron. First time viewer, I'm a new knitter, and he just subscribed and will binge watch while knitting my first pair of socks.
Yay!
New knitter and knitting a pair of socks. That's impressive.
Yeah. Far beyond me.
Yeah. Well, no, it's not. You're knitting a pair of socks.
They're not done yet, though.
Well, that's true. Okay. The next one is, 2-point font, so we're going to do our best with this. So Carrie Penny Okay, so we were talking about Star Trek and how my favorite Star Trek series is Voyager, and yours is Deep Space Nine. And so John doesn't like the holodeck episode. So she said, "Don't." She said, "I don't mind holodeck episodes. My husband is always rolling his eyes and asking if we can skip. He is the same with Loxana Troy." Now I have to say,
Loxana Troy is she's my jam.
Seriously, she irritates me.
So okay, here's the deal with
she is Gene Roddenberry's wife,
right?
Go ahead.
Yeah, she's a silly, fun character. She has an arc in Deep Space Nine, which is actually really good.
Okay.
So maybe if you watch
I like how much Troy gets
under Picard's skin.
No, I mean Troy, not Troy, Deanna Troy. I like how much she gets irritated by her mom.
Right.
But anyway, sorry for the non-Star Trek people, and you don't know what we're talking about. So the holy cow, that work in progress sock yarn is just decadent looking. It looks like a marbled mirror cake, which is a really cool way to describe it. I finished that pair of socks, and so I'll be showing that later. And then Carrie is also from somewhere in the South, so that's fun. Yeah, so thank you, Carrie, for your comments. They're really fun to read. Then Carrie Edens commented, "Hi, I just found your podcast, loving it so much. I'm recently new to knitting, 5 months.
Yay!"
And she said, "I must admit you inspired me to try the knit along. It'll be my first." So thank you very much. That's exciting. Jay knits a lot. First time watching. I'm loving it. Thank you. And then Emily Sterling says, "Hi guys, my name is Marilyn. I'm from the UK, and just to let you know, Hanes books are what they print for different makes of cars here in the UK." And then Lisa McDonald had also commented about the Hayes Manual. It's a comment guide of everything to do with the mechanical workings of a car. So, explain what we're talking about. Nathan, the sockmatician, had created a book. It's Knitting for Guys, or is it something guys in the title? I'll put it on the screen.
Or it's in the tagline or something like that.
Yeah, I'll put it on the screen. But basically, it's written as a Haynes manual, and I was like, what the heck's a Haynes manual? Come to find out, it's a UK. In the US, I don't know that there's a brand, but we call them shop manuals. And so the shop manual is what you buy. It's a big, thick manual for a certain model and year of car. So anyway, that's what a Haynes manual is. And that's his book is styled as a Haynes manual, which is very fun. So thanks, guys, for explaining what a Haynes manual was. Burly Pearly Knits, who also has a podcast, which is exciting. So I went ahead and went over and subscribed. I haven't watched him yet, but I subscribed to his podcast. So that's Burly Pearly Knits. I'll put it at the bottom of the screen. He said, he says, your project bags are so fun. He uses shoe bags from each time he gets a new pair. So, I honestly, I've seen, I don't know if he's in a part of the world or if he just buys a higher quality shoe than I do. But I mean, I've seen shoes come in bags before, but I'm used to them coming in a box without a bag. So I may think maybe more expensive shoes come in a bag inside the box. I've seen that before, but anyway, he uses those as his project bags, and I think that's very, very smart and cost efficient. Or
except you have to buy a new pair of shoes, or you need to make it.
Well, whatever, John.
I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm just trying to justify my own addictions.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't destroy my conversation with using logic. So then there's this whole weird thing going on in the comments about our cats taking over the podcast. The lovely Miss Elizabeth says, you two are interesting, but I could watch that cat for hours. Speaking of which, I think they're both asleep upstairs because their tummies hurt.
Why?
Because they broke into the bag of beef jerky, or I don't know if it was beef jerky.
It was spicy Korean beef jerky. And so this morning, so we had some friends over last night, and a friend of ours brought that as a snack. And
okay,
so
I'm sorry. The reason people came over is because my sister-in-law Lisette bought me 3 bottles of cat wine. I'll insert a picture to explain.
It's
it.
not wine made out of cats, but you'll get it. It's
it's definitely cat wine. Everybody came over to drink it last night. Anyway, go ahead.
So he brought this bag of Korean barbecue beef jerky. It was really, really good. And last night, as I was cleaning up, I was thinking, oh, I shouldn't refrigerate this because it's dried meat, right? Mm-hmm. So I just left the closed bag on the counter. And then when I got up this morning, right on the doorstep was a shredded bag. And so I threw it away because cat germs.
I wondered why the beef jerky was... I was like, I thought I told him I was going to eat that.
Right. No, it'd been slobbered and eaten by the cat. So I threw that away. And then we came home to all kinds of cat mess. And I'm like, oh, it's got jerky bits in it. So...
They're okay. They're fine. But...
They're fine. I hope they learned their lesson.
Yes. And then... Gail, okay, here's another 2-point font. Gail Spangler, I think it says, love the podcat.
Oh no.
And then she says, hey, I made a new word. Linus is a podcat. You mentioned a sock pattern that was knit from the heel outward. Can you share the name of that pattern, please? Yes. I will put it's from Baba Yaya, who is Wendy Geckner. I will put the information in the description of this video, but you can find it on Ravelry. I'll put a link to the pattern. I think I'm almost, I know it's a purchasable pattern on Ravelry. And basically, I started looking at it because I just finished a pair of socks, so I'm getting ready to start a new pair of socks. And it's like an afterthought cuff. It's like you start with the heel, the socks are seamless, and it's like you do an afterthought cuff. The one thing I'm wondering about because I'm going to do it and it's little sporty socks is what the pattern is written for, ankle socks. When I do them, I'm going to do them as ankle socks first.
I don't understand.
I know. Depending on how that goes...
Like, do you...
Wait, hang on. Depending
on... tubes that...
No.
I'm so confused.
Hang on. I'll tell you in a minute. Depending on how that goes...
I'm not going to knit it because it socks, but...
Depending on how that goes, I want to see if you can add a leg. Because that's what I do. My vanilla pattern for socks is the Rose City Roller pattern, but I just knit a leg on it, instead of it just being a small roll-down cuff. Now, John.
Is that you?
You may ask your question now. Oh, you were confused. It starts with a Turkish cast on.
Right, I just don't understand. So does it basically you knit?
Do you know what a Turkish cast on is?
Yes, you've shown me that before.
You know how it's...
Yeah. I've seen it. You did it. You were doing it for a pair of socks.
If you knit a Turkish cast on, it's the toe. It knits a tube. Starting with a Turkish cast on gives you a tube, makes a tube.
Right, but it's got to be
it's closed
tube that
already.
curves.
It's a closed. No, you put the afterthought cuff in kind of the top, so your foot goes down in it.
Okay.
Whatever. I'll have to... Maybe Baba Yaya and I can, meet up in Chicago and do a video together, like a tutorial video about these socks.
That'd be fun.
That'd be fun. Okay. So anyway, more to come on those socks as I knit them. I'm very excited. Sal and Al, the Wool Slayers, love your guys' podcast. Sally commented, she's so jealous of your... She said, I'm so jealous of your sock ribbing. It actually sucks in. My ribbing always comes out the same width as the leg, and it bugs me. Ribbing should suck in. So I'm wondering if you're doing twisted rib, because that was the experience that I had when I did twisted rib and it became a deflated flower. The top of my sock was a deflated flower. So I'm curious if that's the international sign for deflated flower, by the way. I'm just curious if that's what Sal was doing that would cause, because I've never had an issue where rib doesn't suck in.
So I've had that issue with hats and stuff like that. And what I've...
Well, okay, sorry, go ahead.
No, so what I've been doing, well, I'll talk about it when I show you my next project, but like what I do, because I'll do a hat and it has the brim, which is ribbed, and when I wash it, that loses some of the elasticity to it.
So, if I'm remembering correctly, that happened. I believe the fiber content had something to do with that. Because the ones where that has happened specifically are ones where the yarn contains alpaca.
No, it happened with.
Because that shouldn't happen with wool.
Well,
wool has that memory.
Right. I feel
whatever.
like you lose a little bit of the spring when you wash it. Even
Maybe
if
it's super washed, I don't know. I'd be curious to hear what people think about that.
So I actually steam blocked some stuff because of that.
Yeah.
So you can selectively block it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Susanna Warner, one of my favorite viewers and commenters. I always enjoy her comments. She says, "John, I still like you." That was the whole like nobody likes you comment.
You say that so often. It's.
I hope everybody knows that we're kidding and we have a strange sense of humor. We have a very sarcastic, facetious, dry sense of humor.
We do.
I do.
We do.
You have, like, you try real hard to be witty, but it just kind of comes off as interesting. Okay, so then the French, oh gosh, the French Sienna, I want to say. She said that she can't wait to see the Lord of the Rings DK scarf. She said that she made a DK scarf, and in this case we're talking about double knitting, not the weight of the yarn. Actual double knitting where the front and the back are both the right side. Which is Star Wars themed.
Cool.
And she said, nerd alert, she said she had an Excel spreadsheet where she entered the total number of rows in the scarf and the date by which she wanted to finish it, and then calculated how many rows she would needed to do per day to hit her deadline.
Wow.
I don't know. I mean, that kind of excites me to think about being that organized.
I mean, I can set goals like that. Then I won't do it and I'll feel really bad.
Yeah. She said that it was so addicting. Oh, because she calculated the percentages she went and stuff, and she said it was so addictive that I ended up finishing in half the time. I think without that little nerdy tool, the 540 rows would have felt quite daunting.
That's a good point.
And she has her project page on here.
So my thing is, I don't know. This is my first kind of double knit project, so I have no idea how long a row is going to take.
Oh, you know what I just realized?
What, babe?
The whole time we've been talking, we've had the dryer going in the background.
The washer.
Oh yeah. Well, I hope it wasn't causing too much noise.
It wasn't. I don't think it was.
Okay. That little song you heard a second ago was our dryer telling us, or our washer telling us it was done. Then, oh no, this one's really small. Hakeliesi.
Oh my god.
It's like Hakeliese. Says, John, I'm so proud of you for knitting socks. Have you tried using 5 DPNs? So do you want to talk a little bit about... Well, I guess you'll talk about that when you get to like what needle you use and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, good suggestion. We'll come back to that. So then Chevy Rell, I can't watch Chevy Rell's podcast without a cocktail. I think it's sacrilegious. And so I need to time those two things so that I can get caught up, because I'm so far behind on her podcast. Linus is so fluffy. She wrote, he is very fluffy. He's fluffy, but he's not like some long-haired cats. I feel like have longer hair than his, but he's just poofball.
And he's a big cat.
Well,
like that's the other thing.
Let's not fat shame our cat.
No, he's large. He's
large and in charge. He's funky yet chunky.
He's a big cat.
Chunky yet funky, not funky yet. He's chunky yet funky.
He's lost some weight.
I just talked about knitting garter in the round on my podcast. I remembered seeing something where you can use wraps and turns so you don't have to purl.
Oh my god, that's a really good idea.
See, I haven't done wraps and turns, so I don't know what it is.
So when I made that cowl for Charles...
Oh, this hat was garter in the round.
Yeah.
And I wanted to kill myself. I mean,
yeah.
Some people are like, oh, Scott, get over it. It's just purling. I mean, yes, it is just purling, but...
Who said that?
Somebody in the comments.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm like, did I say that?
No, somebody in the comments was like, get over yourself. It's just purling.
No, you should... That's actually a really good idea.
I need to do something that involves wraps and turns, because I don't even know what that means. I mean, you don't have to explain it right now, but
yeah,
I would
give a bad explanation.
So you could do that?
Yeah. So actually, when I was doing the this cowl that had like all these like weird different stitches, like it was in it was knit, but I was knitting it inside out, Portuguese style. But there are parts that would be easier for cabling. I don't like doing cables with Portuguese knitting. So I'd turn it and do the next row, those 2 rows knit, so I could do the cables.
Oh.
It was really fun.
Well, go Chevy Rel.
Yeah, good suggestion.
She said, my awesome viewers came through and reminded me that Paula from the Knitting Pipeline has a video, and she gave a path. So, thank you. And then Knits for Sanity wrote, I would recommend on the Wonder Man shawl, and I think...
The Wonder Woman shawl.
Yeah, to pre-wash the yarn so it doesn't leak into the orange color. I've made the 3-color cowl with orange and light beige, and the orange dark red color bled into the beige, changing the color.
Oh.
But it's kind of too late. And Copper Corgi has not. We've not had that problem with Copper Corgi
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it depends on the yarn and the dyer and the chemicals used and all that kind of stuff. But we've never had a problem with Chevy Rel.
Copper Corgi stuff.
Copper Corgi, yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay. There's just something.
If not, it'll be a
learning experience. John Boy New York, who has a great podcast, says, I totally need to get it together and participate in this knit along. And he made a really good point I wanted to bring up. He says, by the way, because I was talking in the previous episode about like how, you've got to have nylon in the yarn in order to do socks and blah, blah, blah. And he says, by the way, nylon isn't compulsory for sock knitting. After all, socks have been knitted for a long time. That's right. There were socks before there was nylon, and I was like, that is such a good point. A tightly plied yarn will be stronger than one less tightly plied, even if there's no nylon in it. And that's a point that I've heard other people made, is that really tightly plied yarn.
Isn't that what you do when you do the thread, the reinforcement thread? That's kind of you're mimicking a ply.
No.
Okay.
You're just holding a nylon thread.
Right, which kind of mimics a ply.
No. Tightly plied as in tightly wound.
Oh.
Wool. 100% wool, tightly wound is strong.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's not unusual for you to talk about things that you don't know what you're talking about.
I like to figure things out.
And then Wayne, poor Wayne, who I'm like, I don't know who this Wayne person is. He says, you recognize, because I was like, Wayne Yar, why do I know that name? And he's like, you recognize my name because I'm the guy who lived in Taylor's Falls before retiring in Mexico. # jealous. That's my insert, is the # jealous. He says, I am constantly, twice, telling you that you should go up there and visit my friend's llama/sheep farm. And then he says, as an aside, you are so lucky to have a cat that allows you to rub its belly. If I tried that with my cat, I would have no eyes left.
If we didn't rub our cat's belly, we'd have no eyes
left. That's true. If we did not rub their belly, we would have no eyes left. So every morning, so John gets up before I do, and he goes downstairs and he feeds the cat and makes us coffee. Then the cats eat, and then Junior comes upstairs and screams in my ear until I pet him. Then he drinks. I always have a glass of water on my bedside table. He drinks his water for the day out of that glass.
He's thirsty.
And then Linus goes and sits on the heater vent until he gets, like, you touch him and it hurts to touch him. His fur is so hot. Junior will, sometimes, like, if I not have a headache or I'm, like, didn't get very good sleep or whatever, he'll come. I don't feel like interacting with him right away. He will get there in my ear and scream in my ear until I pet him. He doesn't want food. He doesn't.
He's already gotten food.
He's already gotten food. He just wants me to pay attention to him. All right. We're almost done, kids. I promise. Martinez or Manny Martinez? I'm sorry, guys. My tiny font. I'm sorry. I can't read the name. I did it. I ordered 9-inch circulars for socks. I am totally a convert now. Whoa! The 9-inch circular cult continues. I am totally a convert. I was a magic looper and still use it for the toes, but I am so grateful. I don't know that you can do the toes on a 9-inch circular.
No.
I don't think that's possible. You can either do magic loop, or what I've started doing is I switch to 5 DPNs to do the toes until I get to the last 6 stitches on each of the 4 needles. And then I combine them onto 2 needles, so it's 12 on each, and Kitchener stitch the toe closed. She said, cut my sock time in half.
That's awesome. I mean, I guess, so like, think about it. Like, if it was magic loop, half the time you're friggin' pulling the threads out and then dropping your loops.
I mean, I like magic loop for some things. I mean, magic loop, I've done 2 stuffed animals now, and the whole thing was done magic loop.
Yeah.
Then Connie S. says, Hastings, Minnesota just got a yarn store. It's called Muse 2320. So we're excited to check that out. Thank you so much, Connie. I wonder if Connie lives in Minnesota. Okay, this was a game changer for me. And I know this is common sense to most of the knitting world. And I know that most of you are probably going to just roll your eyes. But Catherine Morgan posted, rather than measuring your torso, you may have better luck if you measure a garment that fits you like you want the garment you're planning to knit.
That's a very good idea.
Why is that so earth-shattering? When I read that, I was like, duh. Because I'm doing that sweater vest, and I'll be honest, I haven't worked on it at all because I'm terrified that I'm going to get to the end of it and it's going to be all wonky and the wrong size. But I just need to get over that, right? Mm-hmm. So, and the thing is, it's like, if it's not, I can block it bigger and wear like a dress shirt under. I don't know. Anyway,
you'll figure it out.
I'll figure it out, but for the future, that was such a smart idea that Catherine mentioned. So, then Os commented, one of our favorite, you remember operating system, one of our favorite commenters. She had some really very nice comments that I really appreciate. And then she said that in the Espace Tricot podcast, that's that store in Quebec, I think, she said that they're selling the knit kit at Espace Tricot. And then she says she uses the Clover circular stitch holders. Those things I bought, I haven't used them yet. The Clover circular stitch holders all the time for the sleeves of garments. They're really very useful. And then she knitted the Wonder Woman shawl as a gift last year. And then there's a podcaster called Yarnder Woman. Oh. So I'll have to check that one out. Yeah, so thank you, Os. And then on the topic of the knit kit is the, do we have one handy?
I have one handy.
The knit kit is this tool that John and I are obsessed with. And you can't get it on Amazon. Steve, I can't remember what his full screen name was, but Steve had commented that on the video that you can't get them on Amazon, and that's true. So the last time I looked on the knitkit.com, they had like a million different colors, but it's got a stitch counter, it's got yarn, it's got a little yarn, a little
cutter,
blade for yarn, it's got a rescue tool, it's got a measuring tape, it's got a hole in the back for scissors and stuff. And so I went on the knitkit.com and it says something big is coming tomorrow. So I don't know if they're redoing their site or what. And then they have a Facebook page too. But somebody, C. D'Ambrosio said, I'm not sure if it's the same as the knit kit, but I have a great one from Hobby Lobby called the Knit and Crochet Fix-It Set.
Yeah.
It's $7.99, so this is not $7.99. This is a little pricey, this knit kit thing. So if this knit and crochet fix-it set has the same stuff, but it's only $7.99, I hate to say it, but I would.
The stitch counter. It's a stitch counter.
What?
Is a stitch counter too.
What are you talking about?
That's why it's more. It has a stitch counter.
Oh, because it has a stitch counter. Yeah.
Now with new hat.
What's that from?
Oh, it's a Simpsons episode.
Yeah, I need to go and watch all the Simpsons because you make all these comments that I don't get.
I know. It's lovely.
Yeah, knit kit, cool. Oh, I use an app for my stitch counting. Do you use an app?
No, I tend to. So
I also do the hash marks on my pattern.
hashtags on my pattern a lot. I haven't had a thing overlaid to count rows that much lately.
Okay. All right. So, sometimes I comment on if it's not something that I necessarily want to bring to the show. I do respond to the comments. Sometimes I just like them if it's something that doesn't really require a response.
Sometimes Betty Ann responds.
Sometimes Betty Ann takes over and starts commenting on stuff.
So just
sometimes
be warned.
And by the way, Betty Ann, I do have the power of delete. So just watch yourself. All right, so let's start talking about projects and knitting content. So do you want me to just talk about the hat first?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And I've got to think about what I want to do. Yeah.
So I keep saying I want to knit like a dozen hats and just have them for us to wear as we feel, as we want. John is knit. I feel like you want to make a comment.
Luckily, I just lost a hat.
Oh, which one did you lose?
The marled one I left in Colorado.
Oh, the orange and brown one?
Yeah. So we need to make more hats.
So I have made, this is my second hat that I've made. You've made four.
Yeah.
And you're working on a fifth one. Is that one a gift, or are we going to keep that one?
We're keeping that one.
Oh my god, it's so beautiful. I can't wait for him to show you guys this
Unless it
hat.
doesn't fit our heads. And then it becomes a gift.
Right. So this is my hat that I finished. Oh, the point I was making about I wanted to make all these hats, but I picked complicated hats to make. So I'm like, I just need to, I think the grocery girls have some hat patterns that I want to try. I'm going to try something like that probably, but the point is that, oh, you know what? I think Dye Monkey Yarns, Jessie has a hat pattern that I won, that I'm going to try. Anyway,
cool.
This is the DK Aviator hat. Gabrielle Dance Knit. And yes, it's kind of a funny looking hat, but I wanted a unique hat, and I wanted one with ear flaps. You have the option of doing functional buttons or I just attach these buttons here. But these are the buttons that are from like reclaimed antique furniture or reclaimed from antique furniture. It was basically, I thought it was fun because the way that you do it is you knit. So you knit the front part and the ear flaps, and then you join, and then you attach them all on, you slip them all onto the same needle, and then you backwards loop cast on these stitches, which is maybe that's a common thing. I had not seen that technique before, so that was really fun. And then, what was the point? Yeah, so, and then it's got normal decreases. But anyway, the whole thing is in garter stitch in the round. And was not my favorite thing. I mean, I only because I think I could have gone so much faster if it was all knit. But I really liked the fabric it created. And the yarn was perfect for this. There's cat hair all over it. The yarn was perfect for this hat, and it's the Blackberry Ridge Silk Blend Sport Weight. So it's from Blackberry Ridge Mill in Wisconsin. We bought that
last Christmas,
last New Year's when we were there. We went to the mill. This is dark turquoise. It's in Mount Horeb, Wisconsin. And dark turquoise is the color, but it's a blend of wool and silk. So it's 75% wool and 25% silk.
Cool.
And so yeah, so it's very warm. It's, you know, kind of funny looking, but I don't care. I like it. So John.
So my hat, which is not here because it was a gift, the one that I finished was, so this is, the pattern is called what did I call it? I called it the Reindeer Love Christmas hat, but I don't think that's actually what it's called. It's called Basic Lined Hat Pattern Directions, which is a very innocuous name for it, and it is a sort of reversible hat with a, so you basically knit two hats that are joined at the brim. They kind of create a big oval, and then you can sort of shove one up into the next one to wear it like this, and then other way around. And so the I made it with, I didn't say what kind of yarn I used because I'm a terrible person. I actually used the blackberry yarn from there, I think. It was a green color.
Blackberry Ridge Mill.
Yeah, yarn. And then
that was a green color, right?
Yeah, it was a green color. And then...
It was the same kind of color tonal family as this, but it was in a green. Foresty green.
And then I grabbed some copper corgi. It was a gray color.
It was a variegated
gray. It was like something like shadows something. I'm sorry. And
You'll update your Ravelry project page, won't you?
Well, I don't know where the labels are anymore because the
I think people will forgive you. It's okay.
I know. It's copper corgi. It's really pretty. Anyway, it's really fun.
You can never buy it because John won't tell you what the name of it is.
Right. It's great. But it knit really nicely. And I gave it, so the outside is the sort of Norwegian star pattern, and the inside is a woodland scene with two reindeers who are making love. As
when two reindeers
like
love each other very much.
Right. So anyway, I gave it to
spend time together in close proximity.
Yes, I gave it to a friend of ours who loved it.
Yes. And John, my favorite story about this is that John posted on Instagram a nice picture of the outside, the traditional Norwegian pattern, and said, oh, look at this hat. I finished blah, blah, blah. And then our friend who got the hat immediately turned it inside out and took a picture of it and put it on Facebook of the two reindeers making love.
Right.
That was his immediate action.
Right.
So.
Well, I mean, if you scrolled over on my Instagram post, you could see the other ones.
Oh, I didn't know.
I was like, you know, I'll leave it so people can, if
they can get to it. People post much worse on Instagram. Good Lord.
I know. But you know, think of the children.
Think of the children.
So that's done. That was my my one hat that I did, and
yeah. So the pattern was by whom?
So it was Elise Cohen is the person who wrote it, and then the pattern inside. The
reindeer pattern.
The reindeer pattern is complements. It's a chart called Anaja's Fornicating Reindeer Charts. So basically, there's this chart that
fits into
that. But I've seen it done on gloves too.
Yeah.
So basically, it took the chart and put it onto a hat.
Yeah. All right. So why don't you go ahead and talk about your mittens.
Oh, so the other finished object I have. Okay, so these are the Manitoba maple mittens.
They turned out so. Can you lean them back a little bit so the light shows on them? Yeah. I just think they're so amazing.
They're really cool.
So soft.
They're so soft warm. And they're so warm. That's one of my woven in ends. That's.
Oh, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's totally okay. It just needs to be tucked back in. So the basically I started these when we were doing the Manitoba Fiber Festival. It was one of the official patterns of the Manitoba Fiber Festival. Laura Harvey is the designer. We'll have show notes for that. And the this is also copper corgi. This is nutmeg. The cuff is called nutmeg. And then the purple is eggplant. It's called eggplant. And then the gray is just cascade.
Is that this? Oh, okay. I was going to say, is that the same gray as the hat you did with the reindeer? Okay.
No. So yeah, these were very, very fun. They took a little while because, you know, I was doing these in Magic Loop, and that was really good.
Oh yeah, mittens would be real. I don't know what you could do mittens in.
So yeah, they're fun. I've actually been wearing these, so that's like the advantage of. That's why the yarn little tail came out, because you wore
My hands are smaller than yours, so it's not my fault.
So yeah, they're done. It's my first pair of mittens.
I'm super
Which
jealous.
is fun, and I will make more. And I really I love the feel of, I've decided that, so color work is my new thing that I really like right now. And I like how it looks, obviously, because that's really cool. But I love how it feels on the inside. It just feels so cozy.
Can I feel?
Yep.
I don't,
Because the fabric has like because what you're feeling is
it's thicker.
It's thicker, and then it has like the inside, it has the texture too, because it's all the carried yarn. Here, turn it inside out.
I don't want to damage it. But...
Yeah, but like that's what you're feeling, which I think is really cool.
Yeah.
Like I actually kind of wouldn't mind having a mitten that looked like that.
Yeah.
Like, isn't that neat?
Cool.
Yeah. So that is my finished object. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a wicker basket that sits on our entryway table that's full of hats and mittens and things like that. And so we've been adding to our stash. Yes. All right, so now let's talk about our socks.
Okay.
So before I pull them out, I had a friend who walked up to me. I'm in a chorus, the Twin Cities Gay Men's Chorus. I was in it for like 10 years or 9 years, and then I took a 2-year hiatus, and then now I'm back. John's been in it the whole time.
Because I'm not a quitter.
Because John's not a quitter. And my friend Leo walked up to me at rehearsal and said, I want knitted socks. And it kind of struck me in that moment that if somebody asks me for something, I'm going to do it. Because there's nothing more fun to me than knitting something for someone who wants it. Tracy on the Grocery Girls podcast talked about this back around Christmas time and how she was knitting all this stuff for all these people, but then you don't know if, she didn't know if the people were even wearing it or just like, oh, that's nice, and setting it to the side. And you spent all that time and potentially money and all that on this gift. And wouldn't it be great if you knew that when you were knitting something for someone, it was for someone who really wanted it. So anyway, I just thought that was a really cool point about, so anyway, I decided that like if somebody walks up to me and says, God, I'd really like X, then, within reason, I would try to do that. And so
right. I've asked people to make them sweaters for them. I'm like, well, I'll make one for me first. How about that?
Well, right. Yeah.
I mean, not in a mean way, but like,
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's. Plus, you don't want to knit a garment like that if you don't know how to knit one. And then it ends up wonky sizes.
Well, like that one the blue one I made that
you and I could have both fit in.
Yeah.
So anyway, I asked him what colors he liked, and he said blues and greens. And so I think I've shown this before, but the socks are now finished. The sock, everything except for the toe. It's interesting how the light is playing with the color. The color of the toe that's interesting. The color's showing up a little strange. The main sock yarn is Louisa Harding Yarns Pittura. And it's a blend of silk. Sorry, it's a blend of wool, 75% wool, and 25% manufactured fibers, which is rayon from bamboo. Whatever that means. So, it was yarn that you picked up.
Yeah, I think
at a shop in Atlanta, just kind of randomly because it was cool, and then you said it was okay if I used it. So, it's my standard sock pattern, which is the Rose City Rollers pattern, and I always refer to that pattern, but I never say the name. Mara Catherine Briner, Rose City Rollers pattern, which is an ankle sock pattern, and then I just knit I do 2x2 rib at the top and then do a leg, and then I divide for the heel flap and the gusset and all of that, and then the toe I used this yarn. It's Haiku. It's yarn that I've done ankle socks in before. It's this yarn that's an interesting blend. It's 50% wool, 25% nylon, 10% alpaca, 10% angora, and 5% silk. So it's this haiku Kenzie, and then it's actually, it says it's a worsted weight yarn. It is rather thick, but I use the same, I size 0 or 2.25 millimeter needles, and so it doesn't do anything weird with the size of the toe or anything like that. It just makes it it's really sturdy yarn. And the main reason I did it on this sock is because of the color. And I knew that I liked the yarn as sock yarn, and I had some left over from the pair of socks that I did with it. So yeah, so I'm excited to give these to them. I think I'm going to wash them and block them so that they, when you dry them on the sock blockers like this, they end up looking like this when you hold them up, which is really fun. So I'm going to buy a nice box and give them to them in those.
Awesome.
All right, now let's see your sock.
Yes. So...
What was that? I'm like, yay! And you're like, yes.
Yes, it's only one sock. So this is my sock. So this is the my first pair of socks. So I have one sock done. And the nice thing is these aren't done. I'll hold it up for you. These are still in the project bag, so I can tell you what it is without looking at Ravelry. So it is basically a vanilla sock pattern that Scott sort of adapted for me. It has 2x2 rib, and then it goes into a 6x2 rib, and then just regular knitting, and then afterthought toe and heel.
It's just, I'm sorry, it's not an afterthought toe. It's just a toe.
So
it's actually the circular toe from the Rose City Rollers.
Okay. So,
but the heel is an afterthought heel.
It's Sensible Sock from Savoy Skeins. Sensible Sock. The colorway is Parcel Tongue, which is 80% superwash merino and 20% nylon, and it's super fun.
This is a tightly plied yarn.
Yes.
Feel how, sturdy that is? That is I mean, yes, it has nylon in it, but that's a tightly plied yarn.
Yeah. So that's that, and then the heels and toes are Savannah Sock from Copper Corgi, and the colorway is Carolina Fiber Ghouls, which I've actually used I used it on my Doodler shawl too. So it was this nice little bit of yarn that it's a gift that keeps giving. So anyway, this one's almost done. I still have to put this one is done, except for the heel. So I just need to do the heel on this one.
Oh, that's right.
So this is almost
almost done. I forgot you had the whole second sock.
Yeah, so it's just the heel.
It's not like you've got a whole other sock to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's got some interesting color pooling on this yarn.
Yeah. I like it.
These are nice. And the reason what had happened was I was learning how to do socks, and I had knit John a pair of socks and had cast on 72 stitches, and it was, this big around. And
they're comfortable though.
Work. I know, I appreciate that. We wash them and dry them in the dryer, or no, we don't dry them in the dryer. Yeah. But anyway, they kind of shrink, not shrink, but they get their suck back in, and then but once you wear them, they start to get baggy. But the point is, I didn't realize that was way too many stitches to cast on. So in order to counteract that, what I had done was do 2x2 ribbing for the cuff, and then do 8x2 ribbing.
6x2.
No, it's 8x2. Right? No, 6x2. I'm sorry. 6x2. 6x2 ribbing for the leg to create some more negative ease. I don't do that anymore just because it's so much faster doing it just straight knitting, and I've discovered that once I do 64 stitches, I don't need to do that anymore, but John liked that feeling on the ones, because I ended up doing a pair for him with this, and you liked that feeling.
They feel very snug.
Yeah. So very cool.
Yes.
This is the perfect segue to talk about gifts that we gave one another for Christmas, gifts that we received that were knitting related, some yarn that we bought over Christmas and New Year's, things like that. So we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk a little bit about our works in progress. So, first of all, why don't you show yours first? What I got you.
Oh, okay, sorry. He's like, what did you give me?
Wow, you can tell he really appreciated the gift.
It's because I use it so much I figured it's a gift.
You forgot it's not.
So this is, yay, this is my new knitting bag that Scott got for me. I don't know if you remember, but we have, this is the Rusted Stitch, Stephanie Lewis, right? Yeah, the Rusted Stitch.
She's in Iowa.
Yeah, she's in Iowa. So she donated one of her bags as a giveaway, and I wanted it so much, Scott bought me one. So. You
guys, these bags are amazing. She uses reclaimed sweaters. I mean, that's not the only thing she does, but that's one of the things she does. And it's got this really nice heavy canvas lining inside, and then it's got this nice leather strap, and it's got a wooden thing on it.
And it's got like it's got a heavy, like sturdy bottom.
A square bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's really affordable. She makes them really affordable and the quality is just insane.
Yeah.
And so I got this one because I just knew that this color combination would be right up John's alley. So this is the one that we've got in our giveaway that she donated to us to be part of our giveaway. So this is going to be one of those prizes. So my point being that this is the one that I got for John. So
I love it. Fantastic. Happy birthday to me. Or Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas to me.
Now, that bag is fabulous, but John did really, really good. Like, really good. He got me this knitting bag. And it's by Teamoy.
Sure.
T-E-A-M-O-Y. And it's specifically designed for knitting, right?
Right, yeah.
So it's got it's got this, so the top actually comes in two parts, and it's got guides on it that you can thread your yarn through. It's got pockets everywhere. It's got, okay, let me take this out here so you can see a little better. So it's got three divided sections in here so that you can put two, like if you wanted to use this for yarn management, like if you had two skeins. What I'm doing is two small project bags and then a large project bag. So I can fit like a sweater, two like socks or hat size patterns, and then actually there was one that I had sitting on top. I've got my knit kit in here, and then it's got this, I mean, it's heavy whatever fabric, and I'm gonna be able to put all my pins on here. Right now I've got Dye Monkey yarn and Cody knits. What's so funny?
That's so cute.
I know, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And so then it's got two handles on the side that you can carry it like this, or you've got a shoulder strap, and I forgot who it was that pointed out I need to move one of these shoulder straps to the other thing so that it's kind of at a diagonal, so that it works. But anyway, I'm obsessed. It's amazing. I'm just so, it was like the perfect Christmas gift, so.
Yay, Merry Christmas.
And he picked the perfect, like, stripe, fun colors. I mean, I'm obsessed with bags anyway, but then...
It's like we know what each other would like.
I know, right?
It's kind of weird.
Yes, so it is wonderful. I love it.
Yes.
So this is what we got each other. And then Betty Ann, my loving mother, got us very cute project bags. So, Cody from the Cody Knits podcast, he's Nurse Cody on Instagram, I believe. He has finally opened a Etsy shop.
Oh, really? So it's not just
I didn't tell you that
no,
part.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and I think it's with a friend of his. I'm not 100% sure exactly. But he's given us
like
4 or 5.
Yeah, we've got several of them.
And we love them. It's got the windows in them. Anyway, Mom picked out 2 project bags for us. So this is the one. I mean, we don't really have project bags that are just ours. Like, well, you're using my Fox one, so don't even give me that look. But anyway, I said this one's John, and this one's me. So this one is got like a space theme, and it's got the constellations as the liner fabric, and then it's got the little window. It smells like candles, or it smells Christmassy. And then this one has paw prints and snowflakes on the inside, and then it's got shiny stuff on, there's shiny...
There's doggies and candy canes.
Glittery snowflakes on it. I don't know if you can see that, yeah. So, we got those from Mom. Then, it's almost like people... It's like when you have a hobby... Okay, wait till I'm back on the screen. Very, very professional. It's like when you have a hobby like this, people love it because they know what to buy you for Christmas.
Oh yeah, no, it's super easy. I wish all my family had hobbies.
Yeah. So the Davises are John's sister, her husband, and their 3 kids.
Yep.
And they got us. I think specifically Jennifer and Patrick picked it out.
Yeah.
At a yarn store in Boulder. Wasn't it in Boulder?
Yeah, it was in Boulder.
So anyway, they picked us out this Lange brand Super Socks yarn, which I've not seen before. It looks like it's German.
Is that going to be self-striping? Or no, it's going to be...
Well, kind of. It's got like a weird zigzaggy pattern.
That looks like fun.
So it's 75% wool, 25% nylon. Oh, it's made in Italy.
No.
Oh, is this that same brand that's like, it's made in Italy, the company's address is in Switzerland, and then the writing is in German?
Sure.
I feel like there was another yarn that I bought that was like that.
Isn't that the Zauberball? Is that?
Oh, I think you're right. Maybe this is the same company that does the Zauberballs. Huh. Anyway, it's going to be really fun to knit socks with. And then they got us another yarn that I'd never seen before, but it's made in Peru. Mayu, M-A-Y-U. And it's Mayu in Quechua, or Quechua. I'll have to ask Lisette. It's the native language of the Incas, means river.
Mayo and Quechua.
Oh, okay.
Quechua, yeah.
All colors are dip-dyed, imitating a dyeing technique used by the Incas.
Cool.
So it's 50 grams, 100 meters, or 109 yards. And it's Amano is the name of the company, actually. Amano.
So Mayu's the line of yarn?
Yeah, I don't think it's the color. It's the line, the base of yarn. And then it's... Oh, the color is 2012.
Oh, okay.
Which is kind of a red color. What? No, it's not kind of a red color. It is a red color. And then it's super luxurious. It's 60% royal alpaca, 20% cashmere, and 20% silk. So it's, you can imagine what it feels like. So the question is, what do we do with this?
I think that's a colorwork accent color. Like, that'd make a really cool stripe, or...
Like in a hat or something?
Yeah. Because it's
Can
so...
you imagine if you did mittens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so that was...
And then these mugs right here
Oh, yeah.
are from my mom.
All right, so the guy who makes these, his name is, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, Charan Sachar. His website is creativewithclay.com. I'm going to hold this up a little closer. It's got knit stitches and little buttons on it. And it's unique, one-of-a-kind handmade pottery inspired by Indian designs, fabrics, embroidery, and knitting handcrafted by yours truly, Charan Sachar. So he does a lot of really, I mean, his pottery's amazing, but he got into knitting. So he lived in India for most of his life, and his mom ran, sounds like a wedding boutique in India. And then in 2014, he took up knitting as a hobby. And then through that, the knitting that he was doing as a hobby started showing up in his pottery. So he was a software engineer for 12 years, and then in 2011 he quit his job and does the pottery full time. So he's been in the New York Times, HGTV, Vogue Knitting, etc. So I'd be curious if anybody else has any of his stuff, but he has some amazing stuff that's not knitting themed, but then he has a lot of knitting themed mugs and vases and stuff like that. He's got some lace pattern stuff. Yeah, so anyway, it was a really special gift. I really like them. So those are from John's mom. And then
we were our purchases,
yeah.
right? So we went to Colorado for Christmas, and then we went up to Steamboat, which is a mountain town. We went skiing there for the first time.
Yeah, Steamboat Springs, Colorado, where they have hot springs. We went into the downtown area.
And it's full of cute little shops, and this is...
We went into the downtown, I was like, what is that smell? It's like rotting eggs, and then it's like, oh yeah, there's sulfur springs everywhere.
So we went into the yarn store, which is called So Steamboat, Yarn and Fabric. And it's
SEW, Steamboat.
Oops. And the store had a really cool story. It was these like 8 women formed a collective and bought a yarn store together, and we met one of them at the store. But it was really cute. And this is a local yarn, I guess, for lack of a better word. It's called Yampa Valley Fiberworks. Which in Yampa Valley, I think, is where the valley.
Oh, yeah.
I'm making a guess. And it's produced by Theo's Ranch, Moonshine's Ranch. It's worsted 5K.
That's the color.
Oh.
5K.
I was like, what weight is that? So yeah, I bought it. I really liked it. It is all Cormo Merino.
Cormo Merino.
But it's 200 yards, and here's the deal. This is why I have Scott with me. So this is the yarn, and Scott tells me it's brown. I thought it was red.
Well, it's brown and lavender.
Right.
It's brown with lavender.
I thought it was red and gray.
You thought it was red and gray,
yeah.
Right. You know, and in actuality, if you see red and gray, it is red and gray. Right. But, you know. In your part of the multiverse. Right. The multiverse of defective rods and cones. Anyway, I like it. I've got a hat pattern picked out. It's it's like School by Jared Flood, and it's this crazy, you can do this for me, I'll let it up. We'll do it later. Pattern that involves cable. It's a hat pattern because you never have too many hats. Yes. And it's interesting yarn. You think it's going to be rustic feeling, but it's very soft. It's not super wash. It's very... It looks like it'd be very rough. Yeah, but I think that's just because of the texture from the color. It's springy, or it's like it's got a... It's a little squish to it. It's heavy. That's not the right word, but it's got a good squish to it. Yeah, and so while we were there, the woman who, one of the women who owns the shop was there, and she talked about the fact that she owns alpacas, and that nearby there's a mill, and they will actually take you on a tour and like show you how they make the yarn and all of that kind of stuff. And I don't remember, was it that place? This is the ranch. Oh, anyway, so... Or it might be Yampa Valley... Yeah, no, it's a natural fiber milling, so maybe it's Yampa Valley Fiberworks is the mill. Yeah, so we're going to do that next time we go there. For sure. So, I didn't buy any yarn there. And so, then we went to Chicago to hang out with my brother and his wife for New Year's. Had an amazing time, had lots of deep dish pizza. And, as you're wont to do. Right, and our Airbnb was right near a yarn shop. We didn't have to look. Yeah. We didn't have to look for it. We were just walking around to get pizza the first night, and like, yarn shop. We literally walked into a yarn shop, and in Chicago they have this thing where you have to pay for bags, so they don't make like plastic disposable bags. You have to pay for them, and maybe that's a common thing in other parts of the world, but. I don't think stores spend a lot of money on branding bags and stuff because most people have started using their own bags to carry stuff around in. So anyway, I bought a couple skeins of yarn, and I can't remember the name of the store.
No, we're trying to look it up.
Sorry, I found it. Yarnify is the name of the store. And it's 47 West Polk Street. And so that's where we stopped. And like John said, we were walking to get pizza, and I'm like, John.
It's a yarn store.
It's a yarn store. So we went in, and I bought 2 skeins of yarn. You didn't buy anything, right?
No.
I bought 2 skeins of yarn, both by Stitch Together Studio, LLC, which is Rad Yarn for Rebels. So this is their Stitch Smooth Sock Base, which is 25% merino, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. The name of this is, the colorway is Remind Me to Breathe. And I don't think there might be a story to that.
I feel like they're all social justice-y things.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I think so too.
What was the other one called?
This one was called Rainbow Blip.
Okay.
So anyway, this is the one
Maybe not.
skein, and it's beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even know how to describe how beautiful this yarn is. It's just crazy, all kinds of colors. My friend Steve showed it to me, and I'm like, yep, I have to buy that. So yeah, it's just beautiful. And then this one, everybody in the store was super excited about this one. This is the same base and everything, but it's got this yarn, it's got this rainbow. It's gray with black speckles, and then it's got this rainbow blip in it.
That's so cool.
So I'm really excited to knit up some socks with that. So that's that. So that's what I bought in Chicago.
Cool.
All right, so now what we thought we'd do is talk about our knit along that we're doing.
Oh, there are 17 finished objects and 14 chatter threads.
Awesome.
Cool.
Chatter posts.
Yeah.
Posts in the chatter thread. So we've got 17.
No, 20. I'm sorry, 20 finished objects and 26.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can I see?
Yep.
Yeah, so we've got 26, that's 26 posts in the chatter thread and 20 finished objects. I have not counted the Instagram posts lately, but we've got, we're doing an Instagram post, and the hashtag is STNS, Finish It Cal.
Yes.
And so that's the hashtag, and so we'll be looking at that for one of the prizes, and then we'll be pulling some prizes. So the knit along actually ends in 2 weeks.
Yep.
2 weeks. So it's January 31st. We started it on November 5th. And so wow, time flies.
Are you gonna be able to, you're gonna do that shawl? You can actually do that in the next 2 weeks.
Yes.
Okay.
So I've got a shawl that I'm gonna finish. That's gonna be my finished object.
Which is also nice because so he was going to making for a friend of his who he couldn't find, and he ran into her, so he can give it to her again.
That's right. So we're not really explaining this very well. We're just talking about it without giving the background.
Cal specifics. Project has to have been languishing in a project bag for 6+ months, or is less than 50% done. So that's or. There's no and or.
But.
Oh, and or. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I'm sorry. It can be both.
We're getting real specific. It's a very niche cow.
It can be,
only.
But it can't be both.
But it can't be both. And or, yeah.
Right, because, so yeah, it's just an idea. We did it because we went through our project bags and found stuff.
A few episodes ago, we did what was our thing? Finish it, frog it, or file it.
Finish it, frog it, file it, yeah.
So we went through all of our project bags, and it was embarrassing, and we
had a good time, though.
Had a good time, yeah.
But as a result, actually, my scarf that I finished, that was a result of that, because that was sitting and doing nothing for about 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So.
And the thing that I'm doing, I'm going to show it again just to,
as you should,
to remotivate myself. This is what I'm working on. It's this awesome shawl that was part of the Craft Vent calendar from not this year Christmas, but the Christmas before. It's this beautiful shawl, and I've got
You have...
I've got...
No, you're wrong side.
Wrong side. I've got this much left to the border. And it counts because it's been since last... Not this past Christmas, but the Christmas before.
Yeah, I know. Because
And I stopped doing it because I was making it to give to this woman who was my first personal trainer. And I still go to that same gym. She's no longer a personal trainer there. And I lost contact with her because it was a not professional relationship, but she was my trainer, and I didn't have her personal information, and so she kind of left unexpectedly, and so I'm like, well, crap. And I got depressed, and I'm like, how am I going to give this to her? So I just stopped doing it because I was like, oh, I'm never going to see her again. And then I ran into her at a different gym, which is the same chain of gyms, so I go to the other gym sometimes. And I ran into her, and so now I have her phone number, and she's like, let's get together for coffee. And I'm like, yes. We will get together for coffee, and little do you know, I'm making you a shawl, and I hope you don't think it's weird.
Right when you secreted doing the shawl gown.
It's the secret.
It is the secret.
You guys have to read the book, The Secret.
No, you don't.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Okay, so I laugh because it's kind of silly, but it's kind of not silly. It was a huge worldwide phenomenon. I'm sure you guys have heard of it, but my dad is the one who introduced me to The Secret, and he only ever uses it to get good parking spots at Target or Kohl's. All right, so that's our knit along. We do have a couple weeks left, but if you're like me and your project is 6 inches on a shawl, you can get it done and enter it in, or post a picture, or post a picture on Instagram with the hashtag STNS finish it Cal.
Yay.
And so now we're going to talk about works in progress. I only have one.
I have 3, so I'll buzz through mine pretty quickly.
Okay.
Well, this one. So the one that I'm working on right now is my sweater vest. This one almost qualifies for the finish it Cal. Oh, it does, because I didn't put it, but I started this last February. So it is a sweater vest, and it is made with, it's getting there. See? It's so, you
need to measure it. Like the woman in our comments said, so that you know how much to, because it's a sweater vest, right?
Right.
So you knit it bottom up until you get to separate for the armholes. Okay.
Yeah, they tell you there's
because I think mine's way too long.
Right. So yeah, it's coming along. I actually put this away and started it back up last week, so I'm not feeling too bad about it. So anyway, it is a striped sweater vest. It is prairie. No. Fudge.
And this is knit in the round, right?
Right.
Oh, that's the side.
That's the side. The side is janky.
That's okay.
It's blue sky fibers, baby alpaca.
Right.
And this is eggplant, and this is
You've got lots of yarn called eggplant.
No, the other one was fig, actually. Obviously, I like
anything purplish red is eggplant.
This is actually eggplant. The other. So okay, wait. Where am I? So this is.
Oh
fig.
my god, that looks like eggplant.
Shut up.
Is that eggplant? Wait, is this one eggplant?
This one's eggplant. This one's fig.
Is it eggplant or is it eggplant?
It's aubergine. Shut up.
Because I'm hearing eggplant.
Eggplant. Anyway, so
Betty Ann John pronounces it eggs, and he also pronounces it palo instead of pillow, and he also says milk. It makes me want to throw up. Okay, go ahead.
Are you done?
I'm done because I pronounce everything perfectly.
Sure. Sure you do, babe. So anyway, it is coming along. This is my bust knitting now, which is great because I can usually get about a row done on a bus trip to and from work. So it's coming along. My goal was to have it done by November of 2018. That's not going to happen, but whatever.
November of 2018 passed, so yes.
I know it is done. It is past that deadline, but it'll get done eventually. So that is my sweater vest, which I think of as my bust knitting. I still like it.
It's so, people are going to be like, oh my god, it's the softest thing ever.
Yeah, and I love how the colors came together. So we did the, this is when we did the rescue project on a couple of episodes ago.
Yes, we slattered down and saved a yarn skin tag.
Yeah. So that's that.
I don't know what else to call it. That's what it was.
Oh, and yeah, the pattern is just a Blue Sky Fiber Arts pattern.
Or no, why don't you talk about your second one, and then
Okay.
I'll talk about mine, and then you can talk about your third one.
Okay, sounds good. Taking my Portuguese name pin out. So the other thing I'm working on, I will talk about this one first. This is, I've talked about this before, this is the Wonder Woman shawl. It is by Carissa Browning. No, that's not right. Yes, it is by Carissa Browning. It's called the Wonder Woman Wrap. And when it's done, it'll look like that.
But your yarn is a little bit different colors.
Yeah.
It's
I
like
deeper.
the color.
Yeah, so
I like the color.
So I bought this in Atlanta, in
Thomasville,
Georgia, and it is, I'm making it with copper.
At the Fuzzy Goat.
The Fuzzy Goat
store.
So I'm making it with copper corgi, and the colors are
Blush and Bashful.
No.
Eggplant.
Heartbreaker. The red is Heartbreaker, and the gold is
beautiful.
Amazing, and it's called Midas. Right?
Yes, it's Midas.
Okay. So this is what the two colors are going to be looking like, and I am this far. So I've just cast on, I'm working on the first section before it gets all weird. So far so good.
Why don't you tell people a little bit about the work you did to figure out how to do the short rows, because I think that was a smart thing and other people might get benefit out of that.
Well, it wasn't a smart thing. So anyway, I started this over New Year's, and I cast it on, and I got all the way, so it's a first sort of border section, and then the second section was short rows. And so I got the border section done, and I started doing the short rows, and like I've sort of learned in my life to trust, to sort of lose. I've lost my fear of like, oh, I can't do it. So I was like, I've done short rows. I'll be fine. So I got into it, and like 3 rows into it, it was a disaster. Like all goofy, all crazy, all that stuff. So I put it aside, and I frogged it. So this is the corpse of the old shawl, and I'm starting over. But what I did before I started over, I actually took the short rows section and practiced it on another piece of yarn.
And it was bigger and cheap yarn.
It was bigger,
cheap yarn,
big,
right?
cheap, easy to see yarn. So I actually did a sort of shorter version of the short row section and figured out what I was doing wrong, which was it asks you to, knit to a wrap and then turn. And I couldn't see the wrap because this yarn is so small and fingering and whatever. And so I'm like, oh, I just need to put stitch markers up. And then it also wanted me to pick up the wrap and knit the wrap and the stitch together. And I decided I tried doing that a couple of times, and it was really hard. And then I did a couple rows where I didn't do it, and it was okay. And I learned that that's a really nice thing to do if you have a flat garment, but in garter stitch it's less important. So, getting there. So I'm just really proud of myself because I frogged something and I started over, which is really something I don't like doing.
No.
So, yeah, working on that again.
I don't think anybody likes doing that.
No, but I took it out. I mean,
You have a tendency to, if you have to frog it, you never go back.
Yes, I do. And before I get to the short row sections, I'm putting a lifeline, which is what I should have done last time. Like, I think you can have confidence in patterns, but lifelines are there for a reason. So if I just put a lifeline right before I started that section, it would have been nothing to pull out. So
you would have
trust but verify.
Trust, but it's like my friend Jennifer used to say, forgive people, but remember what they're capable of.
Right.
Which always sounded a little ominous to me.
It is. So anyway, that is going nicely. It needs to be done I'm doing it for a silent auction item for an event in early March. So, but I mean, I did this much this weekend.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's popcorn knitting, and luckily Bachelor is back on. So
thank goodness.
I mean, we like.
What do people do? What do people do when Bachelor's not on? I
don't knit as much.
It's true.
Because the episodes are what, 2 hours long.
5 hours. They're like 5 hours.
They're 5 hours long, and they've got about 15 minutes of actual content in them.
And you can't. If you're like me, you cannot actually sit and watch The Bachelor. You have to have something in between you and Bachelor to buffer you from the crazy.
So, anyway, so this will be my Wonder Woman shawl knit to The Bachelor, which seems kind of ironic. So anyway, I'm excited about that, and it'll be done soon. I'm a little sad that I'm glad that I'm doing it for a silent auction item, but I'm going to be a little sad to give it away, and I might bid on it myself.
Yeah. You know, I was just thinking... Well, never mind. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Okay, I thought I would just talk... This is a really brief... It's something that I've shown before, but I'm almost done with it, and so I just wanted to show it. So I made the Mr. Fitzwilliam's Fox pattern by Kay Jones of the Bakery Bears. And I've got to put buttons on his little cardigan, but I'm very happy with it. I don't know if I've shown it recently. He's got a little tail, and he's got a little sweater, and then she also has socks for him, but I didn't feel like that was necessary, so I'm not doing the socks. But he has a scarf, and I'm doing this for some friends, and I'm putting a name on the scarf.
Oh my god, that's really showing up.
Yeah. So I did like a rainbowy kind of color, and then I did a solid color for the name, and the name is going to be Mateo. And so I've got the M-A-T showing up on the scarf. So I'm going to put some little frilly threads on the end and, you know, block it out and everything. But what I did was I took some graph paper and I did it like this to give myself a chart. Mm-hmm. The thing about this is I did it the first time and it was way too small. Because it looks huge on this piece of paper, but when you translate this into fingering weight yarn, as you can see, it's not nearly as big as it looks on the piece of paper, obviously.
Right.
So yeah, so I'm doing that, and then once the scarf is done, and I'll put the buttons on his cardigan, and then he'll be all done.
Great.
So that's that. And so as far as my works in progress go, I've got this that I'm finishing up. I've got I'm going to cast on that new pair of socks, the weird start with the heel, do an afterthought cuff sock. And then, so that's going to be my socks on the go, and then I've got this shawl that I'm going to wrap up, and then I'm going to also wrap up my sweater vest.
Yes. So
and then I'm going to not have...
So it's weird,
like
when I finished the gloves and that hat, it was weird because I finished them really close to each other, and I was like, what am I going to do now? And then I realized I had like 15 unfinished projects to go back to, so it's all good. Great, and I have one more project I'm working on. So obviously I made that last hat for a friend of ours, and then I lost a hat in Colorado, so I was like, I need to make a hat. So what I did is when I was in Colorado 2 months ago, in October.
Oh, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a minute. I'm very excited for you to show this.
So I went to this place, it's called Fancy Tiger Crafts.
Wait, where was this?
It's in Denver.
Oh, it was when you were there without me. That's right.
I think it's called, let me look up that really quick.
It was it the same one that I went to?
No, we've not, you hadn't been there.
Okay.
Yes, Fancy Tiger Crafts. It's on Broadway, sort of south of downtown, I think in Denver, Colorado. So it's this really cool store. It has, it has a lot of yarn, but it also has a lot of, knitting. I'm not knitting.
It has yarn and knitting?
Oh my god.
Does it have any eggplant yarn?
It does. But it has like fabric and quilting. And so they had this kit for this pattern, which is called the Ehanas hat. Eshanas? E-S-H. Eshanas?
What language is it?
Gaelic.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's from a...
E-S-H-A-N-E-S-S.
Yeah, it's from a little... Pom-Pom, I think, is the thing where a bunch of... It's like a magazine.
Oh, Pom-Pom magazine, okay.
Pom-Pom magazine where a bunch of people went to the Shetlands and there's a Stephen West shawl pattern. I had to buy the whole book to this pattern, so enjoy. So it's a bunch of patterns inspired by Fair Isle pattern. And so it's a Fair Isle hat, and it is
so
four color sort of color work, and this is what it looks like, and I'm really, really happy with it. And the yarn is actually, it's called Heirloom Romney, worsted weight. It's Romney wool, which is, I guess, a type of sheep. Is it?
I don't know.
I think so. I think Romney's a...
Who made the yarn? Like, what's the brand?
Fancy Tiger Crafts. It's
made... it's their yarn.
It's their yarn. So
I didn't know they made yarn. Okay.
So it's really kind of fun. It's very kind of woolly, rough yarn, which is fun.
Oh, yeah, it is. It's rustic.
It's rustic. And so the other thing which is fun about it is just, it's just triangles, but I really like it. I think it's going to turn out really, really well. I'm knitting it inside out, which is the way I like to do color work. So it has this really, I love the way...
And you did a color work gauge swatch.
Yes.
To make sure that you met gauge.
Yes, absolutely. So, and then because it's...
Absolutely.
Yeah, I did.
Well, no. It's not everybody does one, and I know that I've made that mistake where I haven't made one before.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't do... the thing is, with color work gauge swatches, I tried to do the pattern, and I just did kind of the pattern, because I'm like, it's not really... The pattern's not going to make a huge difference. But anyway, what I did not do is I didn't use smaller needles for the brim.
Oh.
Because I wanted to make it right now, and I couldn't find the smaller set of needles for the Chowgo.
Yeah.
So I don't
think the world will end.
I'm not going to worry about that.
So the whole thing is the whole thing has negative ease. The whole hat has negative ease. Yeah. So when you put it on, even though the brim is going to be tight too.
Yeah, it's going to be, and it's a small hat, so it's going to be, it's like
a beanie.
Yeah, it's a small, and I feel like it. Maybe I'm wrong, but feel like the size, the circumference of the finished hat is like 21 and a half inches, which is kind of small for a men's hat.
Yeah.
That's a large. So I feel like it's gonna be fine. I'm actually a little worried about running out of yarn, but who knows?
Let me see, is it? Oh, it's got a lot of stretch to it, so it won't be a problem.
So, and if you want to see here's the green, here's the brown.
You gotta hold it up so they can see it.
Here's the green.
I can see it.
Here's the brown. Then here's the yellow. And then here is the blue.
It's just beautiful.
It's beautiful. The yarn...
I want this in a sweater.
Yeah, I do too. It's really pretty.
It would take 9 million years, but...
So, and I made a decision because I hate carrying up yarn, and I was having to carry up 3 strands of yarn. So I've been cutting my yarn, which means I'll have a ton to weave in at the end, but that'll be fine. So yeah, I think that'll be done next week.
Wow. Oh yeah, I guess you are kind of blowing through it.
Yeah, I'll sit down and do something. And with this one, so again, also, I started doing one row and realized I'd been reading the wrong line of the chart. So I tinked back 2 rows, which I don't like doing, and redid it.
You're such a you're becoming an adult.
I know.
A knitting adult.
I know. It's so special.
It is.
So anyway,
special.
That is my project for right now, and I'm really excited about this. It's
going
to turn out just beautifully.
So, John, we have to talk about something.
What?
We have to talk about Betty Ann.
What's she doing?
So, last time we had a Betty Ann update, we were talking about the fact that she like fell off her tractor in her tube top or something.
She was roller skating.
She was roller skating behind a car. That's right. Betty Ann's my mother. That lives in South Georgia, the state in the United States, not the country. And she finished the Helen scarf.
She did?
She did, and I'll insert a picture of it.
Oh my god, good for her.
Yeah, so the Helen scarf, her sister is Helen, and my Aunt Helen. And Aunt Helen was going to learn how to knit at this knitting retreat we went to, and then it ended up not working out. I mean, I think she would go back to it, she just, you know, didn't at this point. So there was this scarf. There's a scarf that my mom found. The pattern is called the Helen scarf, and she was going to use that to teach my aunt to knit, and so she went ahead and did it and gave it to my aunt as a gift. So that was fun. We are in the process of planning a trip across Italy with my family, because my mom and aunt and their other sister and parents. The other sister and the parents are no longer with us, but they all lived in Italy when my grandfather was in the Air Force and stationed over there. And so they found the house online where they used to live when they were little. Uh-oh, we have a visitor walking in the room. And so we found the house. They found the house online, and so we're going to go to Italy and tour Italy, but we're also going to specifically go to that house where they grew up. Or lived for several years. And what was my point? Anyway, so we're planning this, and so Betty Ann has already started. You've seen how she started hitting on our friends.
I know, it's really disgusting.
So she's hitting on our friend Steve, who's going with us, because her actual boyfriend is not able to go, and or he just doesn't. I don't think he wants to go. So she's already starting to try to find a roommate. She's gonna shack up with our friend.
It's a trap,
and it is. It's a trap. And she's gonna drink 4 bottles of wine at every stop that we make on the trip, and get drunk and embarrass us. I just don't.
I'm wearing a t-shirt that says "Not my mother."
No, we need to get t-shirts that have the arrows and say "I'm not with idiot."
Right.
Oh god, yeah. So anyway, Betty Ann, I know she's been working on cross stitch stuff, and I'll show the scarf, or I showed the scarf, and then I'm trying to think if there's what she's working on right now, but I can't remember. So yeah. So I think, have we gotten through everything we wanted to get through? So I think what I'm going to do for the socks that are the afterthought cuff, start with the heel weirdness, I'm going to use this yarn, which is yarn that I got from Dye Monkey Yarns, Jessie. It's on her Disco Monkey base, which is 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% silver Starlina. And the colorway is Forbidden Forest. And you guys, it is so beautiful. It's green and blue and gray.
So I have a silly question.
Okay.
What is Distalina, or Starlina as I like to call it? Does it change the texture at all?
I don't know. I've never knit.
And do you get glitter all over? I mean, it's so...
No, because it's like a...
It's like a thread, right?
Yeah, somebody will have to tell us.
Yeah.
It's like a thread. I believe it's plied in there. Yeah, see, like right there, you can see the fibers.
Okay.
So I don't know much about it, but it provides sparkle, and so...
And who doesn't want sparkly socks?
Well, I'm going to give these as a gift to someone, I think.
Do you know who?
Yes.
Who?
I'm not going to say. So anyway...
Do they start with...
Don't. So anyway, it's beautiful. All of her yarn is beautiful. Her bases are amazing. Two skeins of her yarn are going to be in our giveaway. So anyway, this was...
No, one skein of yarn.
No, it's the Grease Monkey.
And then there's the stuff we got at
yeah, and
Manitoba.
then there's another one. Anyway, I don't want... I'm going to get it wrong if I say it without my notes. But anyway, this... I believe this is currently her most recent colorway. And then she's also got this really cool... thing where she's supporting someone who does the lending, the free little library on wheels. So she takes it to like parks and stuff and gives kids books.
Oh.
And so she's supporting her in her effort to buy a new... She was like in a bicycle accident or something like that. And so she's getting a new tricycle, a sturdier vehicle to do that with. So
cool.
I think I might have made up the bicycle accident. I don't know if I made that up or not. God. I just watched her one of her recent episodes, but anyway.
These are Betty Ann who got into a
that's what it was.
The roller skating accident.
Betty Ann and her tube top roller skating. What if she brings her tube tops to Italy?
Actually, you're not allowed to bring tube tops to Italy. It's like...
Do they stop you at the border?
They check your bags and like, no.
They're like, no, you can't bring raw meat, fruit, live animals, or tube tops.
Yep.
So, she's out of luck.
It's a pestilence. Do you want to talk about the montage?
Oh, yes. So, I don't know what it's going to look like, but either at the beginning and at the end, I'm going to put some footage from our trip to Colorado.
What?
Why don't you bring your friend up here? So we have a visitor. I don't know where his brother is.
They're both sleeping because they ate beef jerky and they're bad.
Yeah. So...
See, we promised you Linus.
Flip him like a baby and rub his belly just so that everybody will see it happen. And how many cats let you do this?
You good boy.
He's like one of those cats, those Scottish flop cats or whatever they're called, that like you pick them up and they like...
Yeah.
Like, kind of like a fainting goat. Linus is a fainting cat.
He's a good boy.
So anyway, I will have put stuff at the beginning and we'll put stuff at the end that's snippets from our trip to Colorado to visit our nephews. We have a crossover collaboration with another podcast called...
Daniel and Patrick Craziness.
Daniel and Patrick Craziness, which is our nephew Daniel's podcast.
No, this is our nephew Patrick's podcast. And his best friend Daniel's
podcast. And his best friend Daniel. Which I'm sure that the knitting community would be very interested in an 11-year-old boy and their hijinks on the playground. But, yeah, so he's very excited for us to. And if you've seen in our comments, Lee Davis making comments about how we need to not show so much knitting content, that would be the 11-year-old boy, our nephew, who's...
Well, he might, now that he's got a phone, he might do his own comments.
Oh, God. Yeah, Lee Davis is his dad.
Right.
And so he goes on in his dad's profile and is like, you need to stop doing knitting. You need to show snowboarding or something. I don't know. It's like, no, Patrick. You don't get it.
It's a knitting podcast. So anyway, when we were up in Steamboat, my sister's in-laws, basically Lee, my sister's husband's parents, they have this really nice condo in Steamboat, and they had a karaoke machine. And we drug it out, and we showed people how to find YouTube karaoke videos. And we did karaoke for
my mind.
4 hours.
You would think that listening to two 11-year-olds and a 15-year-old boy do karaoke would be awful. And instead, it was the most hilarious, amazing thing I've ever seen. So yeah, we'll put some of that in.
I was really impressed. Luke, who is the 15-year-old, he's a 15-year-old kid. Like, I
was so embarrassed to like be in public. Like, I couldn't talk to people. I was so nervous and embarrassed all the time.
Right.
He gets up and sang "Let It Snow" or "Let It Go" from Frozen.
Yeah. All three of the nephews did "Let It Go," which I thought was pretty hilarious. But it was a lot of fun, and we'll have a little montage from that. And I think that's it.
Yeah, so what we will do is we will have to podcast again in 2 weeks because we'll have to announce the winners
the cow
for the knit along.
Awesome. So like the first week in February. I bet it luck. No.
Okay, someone needs some attention stat. He probably came down because he's wondering where his treats are.
Yeah, it's not quite tree time. Okay, good. Yeah, buddy.
So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching our podcast. We just do this to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Oh, much. One more thing. Crap. Well, no, I'll do it next time.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Second verse, same as the first.
Right on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. A kingdom of isolation, and it looks like I'm the queen.
Prince Ali, fabulous he, Alio Mama. Cute, affectionate, turns back down on one knee. Now try your best to say, come, rush your Sunday, some mama.